Call this meeting to order. The City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Wednesday, January 16th, 2019, approximately 6:05 p.m. here in Commission Chambers, 5332 East US Highway 83, Suite A, Rio Grande City, Texas. At this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Garza, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez. Everybody please stand up.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to get together and conduct city business. We ask that you guide us, that you help us make the right decisions. We thank you, Lord, for all the good blessings that you bestowed on this city. We ask you, Lord, that you continue blessing us, that you protect us, protect our soldiers in arm's way, and protect our police officers. We ask that you bless Rio Grande, that you bless this county, and that you bless this great nation. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
This time we'll have item 1B, roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Peña?
Mayor Villarreal,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Jones is absent. You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, business and orders, item 1C, public forum. We have Mr. Roque Armando Cortinas, 5K run fundraiser. Mr. Cortinas?
Before we begin, I just want to pass out some information so you can read as I present. For all those in attendance, my name is Roque Cortinas. I'm here to represent my company Courtwear LLC, and I'm in the proposal of a fundraising fund, 5K. Just before I get to start, I want to express my gratitude and thank you all for allowing me to be here today and present my proposal of the 5K. Before I explain my proposal, I want to just tell you a little bit about what the company is about. Courtwear LLC was founded by my brother and I. He's my twin brother, Roel Cortinas, and I just graduated with my bachelor's in business administration and management from Texas A&M University in Kingsville, where I served as the president of Student Sports Visuals Association and the vice president of the Society of Human Resource Management. So I do have experience in managing operations and leading others. My brother graduated with his bachelor's in science in kinesiology, where he now has started a successful career and is in his second year teaching and coaching here in your very own Rio Grande City High School. He has extensive knowledge of sports apparel, and that's what our company is about. I also have knowledge of engineering of sports equipment, and I think with that, it will help us, allow us to start the brand and gives us a good opportunity of experience. We have had the great opportunity with the help of Commissioner Ramirez. We have before had the opportunity to train and find a facility to train students and aspiring athletes. So I thank you for that. Now about our company, I think we can be a unique and very successful company, possibly more successful than local businesses, because we are a multi-product company. So we offer like sports apparel, ranging from shirts to undergarments and shoelaces, and as well as sports equipment, starting with baseball gloves and bats. So it gives us a huge advantage in the diversity of our industry. But now for the proposal. We want this 5K to be sort of like a Kickstarter tour, Kickstarter event, promotional event for our company and as well for RGC. We as a company are proposing the possibility of using the Fordyce trails down near the hospital. So that way, I think it's very inexpensive and convenient, so that way we won't have to close down any high traffic areas such as highways and stuff like that. As for the 5K itself, the runners will receive a souvenir product upon registration, and top finishers will receive rewards as usual. Just to ensure you all, the City of Rio Grande City is not responsible for any expenses whatsoever because that has arisen in the past. All we require is the permission to be able to host the 5K here in the city. So no expenses at all. All expenses will be paid through sponsorships, investments, out of ourselves, of course, and those will go to inventory, food and drink for the 5K, and any permits and waivers that you all may require as a city as well. Now, it is a fundraiser for both of us, but mainly our plan is to gather funds to kind of initiate the kickstart of our business. But we do want to express that we do exercise the practice of philanthropy. So 10% of all proceeds will go to charities such as the Special Olympics, and of course we want to give back to the city as well. So I just want to leave you today by really expressing the great opportunity that I think this proposal can hold. And as for me, I always wanted to leave a legacy in the city that I'm from, and I think this could be a huge opportunity to really put RGC on the map. So thank you for your time, and I hope I have your support.
Thank you, Mr. Cortinas. Just a quick question. Again, I congratulate you for your vision.
Thank you.
You're young, of course, smart young man. But I was going to ask you about your apparel. I mean, what makes it different? What does your apparel have that's different compared to all the other brands that are out there?
I'm glad you asked that. Well, one of the biggest things is how I said we're a multi-product company. So there are a lot of local businesses that they have, let's say, just shirts and stuff like that, which are high quality as well. But we really want to excel into that small industry such as Nike, Under Armour and stuff, where they offer multiple products and good quality. We already have good suppliers lined up that offer good quality things. But that's the main thing, the multi-product of the industry. That's what we expect to expand our business.
How many have you hosted before?
This would be our first. That's why I wanted to start in the city we're from, and then as you found on our mission statement and stuff on the other page, we want to propose kind of like a Kickstarter tour, go to different cities throughout the nation. I already have another lead in California actually, so there's a huge market to discover, and we're working our hardest to get out there.
So what space in the market are you targeting? Age groups, and you looking online?
All sort of athletes, even non-athletes, of course. Just, I mean, not to put any offense to 5Ks, but 5Ks, anybody goes to those. So we're targeting anybody, all age limits, all physiques, anything. It's sports apparel, but just apparel to wear as you please as well.
And you have a storefront online, or how does that work?
As of now, it's starting e-commerce, but we do have several suppliers. We have some in China, we have some locally as well, just to get all the different products as we say.
And you're planning to do this at the Fordyce property, is that, or where exactly, the trails?
Yeah, the trails.
Have you walked or measured the area for a 5K run?
Not yet. It's an option. That's why I'm just proposing it today. But I talked to some of your workers here as well, and we thought like that'd be a good place to start.
It is a great idea, but I don't know if call it a true 5K run, because there's some hills and some steep areas that
Yeah,
some narrow areas and trails where it's kind of limited to a certain amount of people going through there. But again, you need to evaluate the situation and find out if it's something you want to.
Of course,
pursue,
and I thought about that too, and they told me that we had a recent color run or something there, that we had over 300 people there. So
it's a great location. You got parking, and the only thing I would ask is that you coordinate with Mr. Perez, our city manager, so in case we need assistance with traffic control, PD, or even
Exactly.
again that way it's not, there's some presence on the city behalf as well.
Exactly.
To make sure that we support you in that event.
EMS.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that's what that is, or firefighter or something like that.
Okay.
And as far as expenses, you don't see any expenses incurred?
Not towards the city. Us, of course, we will, such as inventory, to supply for the runners. We said we're going to give products to the runners. We'll probably sell inventory there as well. And of course, food and drink for afterwards.
How do you plan to advertise?
To advertise, just promote. I know we were here right now with that flyer, but we're going to advertise social media, through the internet, as well as going with flyers to local businesses where they can possibly sponsor and even invest. But we'll go as far as we can just to, word of mouth, giving flyers and stuff like that, as much as we can do.
And it's being proposed for what day, Roque?
Excuse me?
For what day is it being,
That's
you don't have a date yet?
not yet,
Not yet.
but I'm thinking, it depends on if you all approve it or not, but probably late March would be, if we have enough time for that, would be a good date.
Continuing on this
Thank you.
note, Mr. Cortinas, just continuing on this note, that's something, and just throw it out here right now, as far as the having a half marathon here in Rio Grande City, and I'm not saying just this here, but future, and I know I've discussed it with several individuals here. The idea is to, of course, keep promoting these moving Rio Grande City, and
Exactly.
as far as fitness and so on. But maybe down the road, that might be also something to look into.
Make it an annual event.
Yeah, but have a half marathon here in Rio Grande City.
I'll run it if you run it.
Yeah. And I was proposing.
No, the commission is committing to doing it.
A relay style or no relay style? I'll run the first mile.
We're done.
And the reason I was proposing a 5K was
Right.
because a half marathon and a marathon would need more area
Right,
and
right,
probably
right.
Most
streets.
definitely.
But in the future.
No, but again, it's a great idea and certainly something that the commission, but go ahead and visit with Mr. Perez and then the commission as well as we move forward. But thank you, sir.
Okay.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you for your
it.
time.
Yes, sir.
Next, business and orders, item 4D, departmental reports.
Mayor and Commissioners, I would like to introduce our new member that's going to be joining us for the Public Utility Department, Steven Cruz. You want to come up here? Steven Cruz comes to us from way of Hidalgo County. He was most recently the Director of Operations for the Precinct 4, and I'll let you take over, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. How you doing, Mayor, City Council members? My name is Steven Cruz. Like you said, I'm originally from Edinburgh. I just realized I have a lot of family here in this area, so that's good for you guys. I've actually done a lot of work with some of the professionals here in the audience as well too. So some very, very familiar faces. I'm very, very excited. I'm very honored, and I'm very humbled for the opportunity. I promise to work my butt off every single day for you and for the community. Mayor, just hearing your words right now about the vision of creating a marathon and getting the community involved already inspired me and got me fired up to want to get involved and help you out as well with that too.
So then you're running it too, sir?
I
Is that
will.
what you're saying?
But
You're
sticking with
committing
the
to
relay
it.
style though.
Well, he owns a gym.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
actually, aside from being the director of operations for the last 8 years, if I can just tell you a little bit about myself, I'm actually a product of the University of Texas Pan American, a graduate there. I left to Lubbock for 3 years where my wife attended law school at the University of Texas Tech. As soon as we could, we came back home to the Valley. I've owned 2 businesses in Edinburgh. Obviously, purchasing my 3rd business, that will not affect me. I got people that are managing those businesses. But I've always had a business aspect, a business mindset. And just working in public government has always been an aspiration of me. People ask me, why do you do it if you have these businesses? Because I genuinely love being involved in the community and having a project and seeing it through. And I know Mr. Guerra's here, and he knows exactly me and who I come from and what I'm about. You're going to get work ethic, a lot of strong work ethic with me, and someone that's really determined to getting these projects done for you. If you have any questions, I'm an open book. Just sit with me, or you want to sit on a one-on-one basis. I'm more than happy to as well too. But I just more than anything wanted to thank you for the opportunity and let you know how honored and humbled I am for this opportunity. And I promise to work hard every single day I'm here for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz, and welcome.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you.
Welcome, and certainly you came to a department that we have many
Yes, sir.
projects, million-dollar projects in the very near future, and of course, moving with efficiency and effectiveness, and how do we stretch the dollar, as we say, and looking at it from a business perspective. And that department, of course, is as far as accounts and as far as projects and without that department, then it's hard for the city to grow.
Yes, sir.
So it's imperative that we move forward with, and again, it's all departments, but specifically when you're looking at water and some of these projects as well that are essential and are the lifeblood of a city. So you have the certainly welcome, and thank you for taking this opportunity, sir. And we look forward to, and believe me, we are going to make sure that, like you said,
He will be
keep you to
checked.
your word, sir. Remember you said it, it's on video, it's on
Well,
camera.
let me
so
tell you this much, Mayor.
you can always go back.
I'll be very honest with you, and I told Mr. Perez this. I had other options, and I was actually interviewing for a couple different options, and that's actually what was the determining factor for me here, was because of the challenge and because of some of the obstacles that he said that we're facing right now in the city. And I don't know, call me crazy, but I thought that's what I want. I mean, that's the challenge, and so I'm ready and I'm excited. I'm excited about the opportunity. So thank you very
sir.
much.
All right,
Thank you. Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Cruz, welcome.
Well, sir, it's always great about first impressions, and certainly you made a first good impression, not just with the commission, but I'm sure on video and social media. So again, thank you, sir. Moving on, Mr. Perez.
Moving on to Ms. Foltz.
Hello, Ms. Foltz. Another one of our go-getters.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
We have
Well-
coming up, we'll be participating in the Texas Library Annual Conference. I have an opportunity to be in a panel, and our part is small libraries partnering with different partners in the community. So we certainly have a lot of partners. I'm very excited to share that with them. We are also, the UTRGV School of Medicine is partnering with the National Network of Libraries of Medicine, and they got us a grant specifically to help public libraries to make sure that we get the public access to information to enable them to make better informed decisions about their health by partnering with public libraries across Texas. They're going to be coming in to Rio Grande City to give us training on this and to give us all the resources that are available for our patrons. So we're very excited about this. Also, there's also a 3-year pilot that we'll be a part of. And the other thing that we're working on is with the EDC and the Workforce Solutions is the upcoming RGC Employer Expo and Job Fair, February the 6th and the 7th. Last year, Mr. Perez was gracious enough to help us with interviewing skills. We're hoping to round him up again to
It's going to
maybe
cost you
help
this
us-
time.
to help us. So in December, we also held a very successful storybook Christmas, and we're very appreciative of all that helped us put that together, and our holiday fun coloring contest, and we were able to give out some really nice door prizes for the kids. So thank you, that's all.
How
I
are
have.
the new computers working out with that grant that
Well,
you received?
I thank you for bringing that up. Through the Hunter Foundation, which finally we got a grant that we were able to qualify for because it's for public libraries in a population of 50,000 or less. So this was the first time we applied. We got $17,000. We were able to get children's computers. We just ordered some laptops today. We want to take advantage of our universal class, our free continuing education classes. There's over 500 different classes, and so hopefully we'll be introducing the public to more classes that are, we'll have different ones at a time. Then we're also going to get an iPad and a Kindle that we can take with us, because I really want to take kind of the show on the road and let people know all the things that we have, because I know that you'd be amazed. And I've encouraged you to come by, but I will come to you once I have those equipment, and I'll show you the things that we have, because there's a lot of free resources available to anybody that has a Rio Grande City Public Library card. And we've just added, besides ebooks, movies, telemundo, telenovelas, concerts that you can view for free as long as you have your Rio Grande City Public Library card. And we're very excited about the things that are coming up in the future, and thank you all for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Volz, and that's the reason we're in the top 10% of libraries in the state of Texas, Ms. Volz, because of the work and that your department does, and everyone that puts that effort, so thank you, Ms. Foltz.
And Ms.
Appreciate
Foltz,
it.
you want to let them know you've been nominated for,
Yes, your nomination, tell us a little bit
Well-
about your nomination.
I didn't,
for recognition of,
I was told that I'm being nominated for the Rio Grande Valley Walk of Fame.
yeah.
Very good. Congratulations.
Well, thank you all.
Congratulations, Ms. Foltz.
I'm very, humbled and honored. I did not expect that. Wow, thank you,
You deserve it.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz. Perez?
Mr. Hector? Herrera?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity for the Public Works Department to take over. And, well, I've been working with Delta Engineering with Thoroughfares.
So is that setting up us with roadways and byways to
Yeah.
improve the traffic jam we have? To
Yes.
reduce traffic? Okay.
And my report is there where you're.
Well, certainly you have your work cut out, sir, but
He's in
thank
the-
you for taking on that role and responsibility that comes
we
with
have a big-
managing such a
Yeah, we
huge
have a big role
department.
on our brush collection and our, well, all the things that we do for public works, so
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you plan to have this roadways and byways planned together with Rio Delta?
well, I've been talking to Julio with Delta.
Uh-huh.
Sometime next week, I'll be talking to him, put some input on their
Proposal?
proposal for the thoroughfares,
Okay.
their byways.
So maybe by the next meeting, we'll have something?
Yes.
Okay.
And continuing with the drainage, make sure that drainage
Well,
is
he's
taken
also
care
working
of.
on a drainage plan.
Yeah, that drainage, well, that's one thing that we work actually like year-round, keep them clean, and
But
But,
you
uh,
all do a great job
yeah.
with that, and certainly that helps with any type of flooding, which we have not incurred any flooding, but again, let's continue that which you all have.
But he's working with Rio Delta also and trying to formulate a formal drainage plan that have to coincide with the county. That one requires some funding, and we're working on that to get it done.
There was some discussion a while back, Mr. Herrera, about the street, I believe San Benito, the one that comes out of the Basilio Park,
Yes.
the fair grounds, coming to 83. To make that into a two-lane
Yes.
turning lane as opposed to a one, because the traffic sometimes gets backed up all the way back to the stop sign and onto the other street.
Well, the opportunity will be there when,
I think that we
David-
were waiting on the removal of the railroad tracks
tracks.
before we did
Right.
anything there.
Okay.
right, that'd be the best time,
Yeah.
so we can repave it and,
Yeah, because I've been approached about it. I know I talked to Mr. Guerra before he retired, and I don't know if that was something that was going to be taken up with TxDOT or not, or if it was a city.
city,
I think we need to get with TxDOT and.
because it connects to 82.
283.
Correct.
Yeah, just to make sure we don't forget about that project and.
I can offer a little bit of insight
Sure.
to that one, Commissioner, if
Yes.
you'd like.
Please.
We did the layout with Fernando, and I don't know if Hector was
Yes,
involved in it or not.
we have those
Laid it
plans.
out to precisely so we could have two lanes either turning to the
right.
left or turning to the right, because they could have both, 2 lane turn to the right also.
Okay.
But in discussing the St. Ives project and knowing that section of railroad is gonna get abandoned, if that project happens, when it happens, then the railroad will be abandoned at that point also, the tracks will be taken out, and we can improve that whole crossing on grade, because right now the crossing itself is narrower
It's narrow.
than what we
Correct.
need. Because we, not only do we need to improve the turning lanes out, we need to improve the turning lane into San Benito.
Right.
Correct.
For heavy traffic, so it's like we were hoping to have all of that taken care of, but at this point, at least knowing that the railroad was abandoned, and we could then move on expanding our right of way through there and all that stuff, but as y'all know.
And I think it takes a little bit more than that, Gilbert, in the sense of, there's a lot of high-powered lines there, and,
That and the signals will have to maybe be adjusted and moved, and the crossing itself is a barrier to allowing us to fully expand it, the full width of the road that exists on the north side.
Yeah.
If we can do that, then that'll improve the turning movements immensely. And then, of course, coordinate the signalization so you can have something a little bit better, maybe work on, I know in speaking to Eddie Garcia about it, about synchronizing all our traffic signals and adding a couple in some places where we need to. So, we are looking at it.
Okay.
And it's just, we needed to get that railroad right away abandoned first so we could widen and get rid of the tracks and improve that crossing on grade rather than having to go over the tracks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Anything
Thank
else, Victor?
And then the four-way stop but that, I think
Yeah, that's
you have that on your.
We got it further
your-
down.
Okay,
Further down in the agenda. We'll
All
call
right.
you back up.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got Chief Castillo?
Good evening, Mayor,
Hello, Chief.
Councilman, and
Good evening, Chief.
everybody else on the panel. We had, last Friday, we had a training with Tamaulipas Special State Operations Unit, and, it's called Cayet, the unit, and I'd been talking to Mr. Perez about it, and the mayor actually went by there and actually met the group of people that we had there. Our guys were able to actually train with the unit from Mexico that's actually going through operations on a daily basis, I think that we were told that this unit had already been like 30 gun battles in the last 3 months. And it was men, women, young guys that are involved in that unit. And we have 5 guys in our SRT unit that is with the Special Crimes Unit. There was a total of 13 officers from the school districts, La Gruya, Rio, and Roma. They participated along with the county attorney's office. The training that the guys went through is totally different than what they're used to because they're going with what's realistic. And it was a great opportunity to train with them. I think we might be having some training in the future that we could actually encompass as to different tactics and training. And in hand with that, we also received today 29 bulletproof rifle vests that we had applied for, I think it was about a year and a half ago. And we got 29 of those, and that is one for every officer in the department. The grant was for $29,100, and that covers if y'all are familiar with rifle rounds, it'll stop up to a 30-06 round. So,
Wow.
Our guys are, it weighs, I'd say about 20 pounds, but, it can save a life. And, that's where we're headed. Our 4 patrol cars, we just got the other one delivered in the valley. And I think they got the majority of the stuff on. We're just waiting on some cameras and I think the radars to get put on them, and also the striping. And hopefully we'll get those by either the beginning of next month or mid-month. So that's what we got going on with the police department.
So I would like to go back to the meeting with the folks from Mexico. I think one of the big differentiator there is that they are involved in very heavily in active shooter events or activities by the sheer nature of where they are in Mexico. And that's something you're able to hopefully share with you guys and how to deal with that.
That is correct. Respect the officers I spoke to, and like I said, we have 5 that are in that SRT. They said it was totally different than what we're used to training on a regular basis. And they've been training with special operations and different stuff, and they said it was completely different. We were trying to get the barbecue going on for them, so we give them something to eat, and we did. The food was good. I don't know if the mayor got to eat or not, but
It was very good.
It was a different type of situation, and it does to tell everybody that we're all human and we're not robots, and so are they. But the difference is that the river divides the 2 countries, and it's a different place. So.
Well, the fact that they've been involved in 30 incursions, actual incursions with the
Cartel?
criminal element, and the idea that, such a group in the last year, it's been a few months.
Right.
So they offer a lot of opportunities for us to train with them, and thank you all for taking that opportunity to get this done, because again, God forbid that at some situation that we might be faced with that possibility, but be ready for that should it transpire in the future, right? Or again, hopefully not, as we say, but to be trained by individuals that go in through some of these incursions day in, day out, and a lot of experience. Even though I was impressed with how young they were, but yet to have that much experience in such a short period of time, it's incredible that they're able to maintain their faith in law enforcement. And again, kudos to you all for taking on that opportunity, sir.
We're going to send
Continue
them.
it.
Participated?
It was it's called CAIET. It's the Centro de Análisis y Inteligencia y Estados de Tamaulipas.
No, but here
At,
from the county, who?
It
what
was
agencies
our department,
participated?
which is the police department, Roma Police Department. It was La Grulla Police Department. I think it was a couple of guys from the RGC-ISD and Roma ISD. So that's what we got in our team. And you know, some of the other agencies are smaller, so they can't really afford to get people in. But you know, it's a big group of people that we got doing this, and this is part of the special response team that the SCU has, and we're actually encompassing. This is part of the training that we're trying to get complete with search and rescue, and you know. If it floods and we need search and rescue, what have you, that's what we're just trying to get at. And like the mayor said, you know, maybe not that we need it right now or it never happens, but if ever something does happen, we're prepared for something, you know, and then we just take it from there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Ms. Guillet?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Ms. Guillen.
I would like to add to something Ms. Foltz mentioned earlier, and that is the upcoming job fair on February 7th. We are working to have the U.S. Census present to solicit applications, and as you know, participation in the census is very important to any community, and so we're going to put the word out to get, I know they're looking for students at the high school or at the college to come out and apply, excuse me, but more importantly have those top level group that are going to be working with these individuals to go out and get those census forms completed. As you know, our funding from the federal level is tied to these figures, and so I know every community is trying to put a push for more people to participate in the census. In fact, the counties of Cameron, Hidalgo, Star, and Willacy are coming together on January 30th for a forum on the census in the Rio Grande Valley, and so that will take place in Edinburgh. So just want to, as we put information out, encourage you to pass that along, because it's very important that we get counted so that we can show the number of people that we have in our community, which in result gives us more funding opportunities in Rio Grande City.
Is there anything else that we can do as a municipality to aid in this process? Because, like you said, it's going to be crucial that as a municipality, right now we're still at 14.5 according to the census, right? But certainly a lot more than that. But it's going to be imperative, Mr. Perez and Ms. Guillen, that we somehow make sure that we put our part, yes.
Okay.
We'll,
ensure that.
we'll sit and talk about maybe some type of drives, some maybe PR campaign through public service announcements to get people to come out and to be counted. And I know we have a really good team on the television video side that can help us with that. And of course, we'll learn more about what each county is going to be looking at and doing in their counties to try to drive those numbers. And so I'll give a report at our next meeting on the status of that forum, which is taking place in Edinburgh.
Maybe we can do stuff from the utility bill and whatever way,
Right.
I mean, that we keep
Whatever
putting
is
it out
cost
there.
effective, but that still can be impactful,
Correct.
that we do that. And I'd say this, do not leave any stone unturned type of mentality, because that's crucial. And obviously, we know that, but yet somehow we need to just push it hard.
We'll do that, sir. And again, I'll have a better report on what our counties are doing, and maybe sitting with our county counterparts at the County of Star, see how we can work together on driving up those numbers. Also, we just had our EDC meeting, and we looked at our sales tax figures, and of course, we continue to see that positive sales tax report, and we want to continue to grow that. So as projects come forward and developments such as The one coming down the street here from City Hall will be giving you hopefully better numbers because we really do need those tax dollars, and they're coming in slowly but surely and maintaining that good level of reports that we've seen so far. So.
Speaking of tax dollars, I've been in contact with the comptroller's office, and they're looking for, what do you call them, volunteers for them to come after to file misdemeanor charges for not having a permit. They haven't done that in, I don't know, I don't think they've never done it in Rio Grande City, but I've convinced them. And the whole purpose behind it is that they take the state serious about having a tax permit, which we rely heavily on. And we don't want to go crazy with it, but to attract media attention to it. And so people know about that, hey, you're going to operate without a permit, the state may come after you and file misdemeanor charges.
Good point.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I'd like to backtrack to the PUD. I do want to recognize Miss Cindy for the last, several months. She's been alone and during all kinds of activities that probably she was not looking or was aware that existed. And she's been hanging in there, so I know she's looking forward to having a director to help her out with the workload. But I want to thank her for the hard effort, all the work that she's put into trying to maintain. She's done an excellent job with the staff that she has.
Thank you,
Ms. Cindy.
thank you. Certainly have tremendous employees that, again, do the day in, day out opportunity. So thank you, Ms. It's to take on the load, and that's a challenge. And I'm sure Mr. Perez will attest to that. But
Yes.
again, thank you. Can't say enough. We cannot say enough of how much we appreciate the work and effort. Yes, appreciate it.
Yes, with that, I'd like to open it up. Does anybody else need to say anything departmental wise? We're good? I know it was a long one.
Where's Parks and Rec?
He asked to be excused. Prior engagement.
Okay. Moving on to item 2, consent agenda. We have item A, approval of departmental travel request. Letter B, approval of minutes from previous meetings. Letter C, approval of action taken at the meeting of rgc-tv held on November 15th, 2018. And letter D, approval of action taken at the meeting of Kelsey Bass Museum and Event Center Commission held on December 13, 2018 and January 10th, 2019.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve all items under consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez to approve consent agenda items A, B, C, and D to consent agenda. We have a second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed? Motion carries. Next, business and orders, item 3, city manager's report. Letter A, discussion and possible action to authorize the establishment of an all-way stop at Ebony Street and Huizache Street.
We got Hector up again. Where are you, Hector?
Barrera?
Yes, we received a call from these citizens from Los Treviños area, and my best recommendation is to put a 4-way stop there on Ebony and Huizache Street.
So the complaint is the speed that they're going by.
Yeah, sometimes they have service. There's a church right in the corner, and sometimes they have a service, and some citizens just go too fast. And my best recommendation is a 4-way stop.
We already have a stop going east and west?
Yes, we already have a east and west stop, but we need stop from north and south, southbound.
And there is that church right in front in the corner of that intersection?
Yes, it's right on the northeast corner of Huizache and Ebony.
And there were concerns by citizens in that area that individuals were speeding and so on.
Yes, and our main goal is to put the 4-way stop, and it'll take us like $350 or $400 for the installation.
And that's the most effective, you think, way to do it, and cost effective as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other questions at this time to entertain a motion?
Mr. Perez, staff okay with the recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Then I motion to approve item A.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 3A by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Maybe on that end too, we can, on occasion, send the police department out there to monitor that.
Okay.
Especially if there are several citizens that are concerned about the speed there. We can follow up with that, Mr.
Will do.
Perez. Next business in order is item 3B, Rio Delta update on lift station project. Guerra.
Good evening, Mayor, members of
Evening.
the commission, ladies, gentlemen, the audience. I put before you just a little brief synopsis of the progress on the lift station project. As you know, we started the project, I believe it was back in September of last year, but we had some long lead items that needed to be ordered. By that I mean like the wet wells and the pump systems took from 6 to 9 months to get delivered. What you have before you is a report up to now. All those materials have been delivered. Of course, we established a priority list on these lift stations based on the enforcement issues we were having with the TCEQ. And that second page under, or the first page under the cover is just a list of the priority as we established them at the time. As you go further into the report, the next page shows you the picture of the existing conditions now at lift station A, which is VFW. We poured the slab extension for the new pump system. The pump system is in place. The suction pipes have been, the lid of the existing lift station has been cored. The suction pipes have been installed. We're waiting on power. AEP is going to have to drop power here from 480 to 230. It's in their system. We're trying to keep our foot on the pedal with them, make sure they don't forget about us. Once we get power, the correct power to the site, then it's a matter of hooking up the force main power and starting up the pump. So we're close to there. And basically, we're looking at having a tentative startup here by the middle of next month, about this time next month for that particular lift station.
Mr. Guerra, could other things be done, like the fencing and those other requirements that they go along with that project?
That'll happen shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Lift station F, the next one, Blue Bonnet, the same thing. This was an existing lift station like VFW that we were going to use the existing wet well and change out the pump systems. We weren't going to build a new wet well. The two pictures there show the reinforcement steel, just so you have an idea of the reinforcement that went into the slabs that we poured. The extensions, it's all number 4, number 5 steel. And then the bottom picture shows the pump systems already in place on the slab. 2 of the suction pipes have been cored and put into the wet well. The third one will go where the existing suction pipe is, which is through a lid. And on this one, we're actually just waiting to hook up the power and get it started. This one should be getting started here someday soon. Lift stations E and G, Blue Bonnet and Los Garcias, respectively. Those were flip or flop, either one in next descending order of importance. So whichever one we get to first is fine, but we plan on working on them simultaneously. These both lift stations will require the actual installation of a new wet well. These are 24 to 25 foot fiberglass wet wells, all enclosed with bottom and top. All entrances have already been built there, watertight, so that you just put your pipe in there into a gasketed joint. You see that the bottom picture is a sample of what that is. And you can see the pump stations are in storage at the contractor's yard. So they're in place to be installed once we get the wet well into the ground. And we're expecting to have those completed by the end of March, 1st of April, and they're the weather permitting.
How deep is that wet well?
25 feet, 24 to 25 feet.
Yeah.
So it's a substantial excavation. It's a coordination. They'll have bottom slabs poured, and they'll either pour them in place or pour them up on top. We did bores at the 2 sites that we felt were more likely to have water, which was Garcias and Solis, and they were dry, down to 30 feet. So we don't expect to find any groundwater anywhere, but it's just a matter of digging a hole, stabilizing the sides, either with shorn or whatever, and if they pour on the bottom, they pour the slab on the bottom. If not, they'll pour the slab on top, set the wet well on it, attach it, dig the hole, and then lift the whole thing into place so they don't have to have the excavation open for extended time. The contractor's still mulling which way to do that. He's checking on the availability of trench boxes to shore up the sides, because we have to do that based on OSHA. But anyway, these, they're projecting completion for the end of March, sometime in April. The contract time ends in July, I believe it's the 20th of July, and that's to have everything up and running. Lift station H and C, which is the Solis lift station and the Rio Motors lift station. These two lift stations were in the bottom of the list of priorities. They also this work will also entail putting in a new wet well for each, new pump systems. Those materials are in. We haven't started anything on these yet because they're just low on the priority list. The other 4 lift stations were actually ones that y'all were being hit on by the TCQ, so there's a priority in getting them done, starting with the VFW. And,
You don't see any issues with the project completion date?
Up to now, I don't see issues. Having the pumps packaged like that is a big advantage. Rather than putting in the individual pump, each individual fitting, valve, everything else, making sure that everything's fit and everything's right. The control panel, the wiring, all that's in place already. Once the wet well's in the ground and the concrete's poured, they slide it in place. The wet wells, as you can see in that picture, already come with the perforations through the top for the suction pipe. So it's just a matter of forming around those when you pour the concrete slab. So you pour it in, seal it, put in your suction pipe, seal them, hook up power, and you're good to go. Of course, the fencing and everything else comes at the very end.
So far within budget and within time?
So far within budget, no surprises as of yet.
So no surprises as of yet, sir, and hopefully we don't have nothing. All right.
Do y'all have any questions regarding any of this information?
You know, the only thing would be just securing the materials, everything okay there, no
Yes, sir.
issues, I mean, because they're out there. So
And
we're
it's
okay.
on them. We don't own it until we take ownership.
All
of it.
right. That's all I needed to hear, sir.
Job sites too, Gilbert.
Pardon me?
Making sure that the job sites are secured also, there's a lot of traffic through there.
Yes.
We got the proper barricade.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And the fencing and all that will take care of it. Okay.
And that's one of the issues that I made sure the contractor took into consideration. I said, well, I can dig the hole and then pour it on the ground, so you're gonna have to maintain that hole open for a while. So that adds a level of liability to you. In my opinion, the most prudent way to do it would be to pour the slab and everything. You dig your hole, you may have to open it for 2 days max, because it'll be a 2-day operation to dig it down to depth, get it to grade. Then you hire a crane and you're there, you coordinate, you lift it into place, and you start covering up. The biggest liability is having that hole open.
Yeah.
If it rains, it fills up with water. And even if you just have it open, doesn't matter how much fencing you put around, children will be children. They'll go
How far from
swooping
the
around.
original wet well is the new wet well gonna be located from the one on Blue Bonnet and 83 in Los Garcia?
The Garcias?
Yeah.
It's just down a little bit to the east.
To the east?
Maybe about 100 feet,
That far?
yes.
Okay.
Well, and we can move it a little bit closer. We tried to move it out to where we had enough room to carve out a 50 by 50 spot and be able to dig. As we get closer to the narrow, when you dig down to 25 feet, if you have to slope it out on a 1-to-1, that's 50 feet from and these are 12-foot diameter, so you're looking at 62 feet width hole, 62-foot wide hole that you'd have open. So if we get closer and closer to the V, we run out of space.
Yeah.
Not only for the hole, but
That's
also
the one
for,
that we need to make sure that it's well secured, Gilbert, especially because they use it as a parking lot there at the church. A lot of people park there while they're
and
having
more likely they'll put up
their
temporary
service.
fencing. I mean, if they want to take it, they're going to come take it. It's just the way it goes. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Okay, Gilbert.
Monday?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next, business and orders, item 4, planning, letter A, discussion and possible action on request by AEC Engineering for preliminary and final approval of the amended plat of Los Ranchos de la Estrella Phase 1 subdivision in Rio Grande City, Stark County, Texas.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Mr. Milan?
As the name says, it's an amended plat. Actually, you had Phase 1, which was the combination of Los Ranchos de la Estrella. Subdivision Phases 1 and 2, so the developer decided to do into 2 phases. This area is what would literally connect Ranchita Road with Santex Road, eventually to Alvarez Road. But
There are no issues at this point?
now, like I said, it's been previously approved by both PNC and City Council, except it's going to be in 2 phases.
Okay, you're recommending approve?
Yes, sir.
I so move.
Have a motion to approve item 4A by Commissioner Garza. Have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 4B, discussion and possible action on request by AEC Engineering for preliminary and final approval of Los Ranchos de la Estrella Phase 2 subdivision of Rio Grande City, Stark County, Texas. Milan?
Same discussion as I just said, it's just the second phase of what's going to be Rancho La Estrella Phase
Okay.
1.
Have a motion at this time.
Recommending approve?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who moved?
Second?
So we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye opposed? Motion carries. Next, business and orders, item 4C, discussion and possible action on request by Carlos Aguilar for preliminary approval of the Filomon Garza subdivision in Rio Grande City, Stark County, Texas.
Yes, Mayor.
4C.
This is a 1-lot subdivision. This is along Charco Blanco Road and the intersection of Ramirez Street. This is on the west side of Charco Blanco. It's not a very big lot. The owner has, for many years, has had it there, and due to the size, hasn't been able to develop it as he wanted. He wanted to have apartments first and then develop as storage units, and went back to apartments. He wants to do a couple of duplexes. Due to the size and obviously the city requirements for off-street parking, that's all he can literally build, a small duplex, and that's about it. There's not much space.
Same thing, no issues. I know planning and zoning already
Correct.
approved it, and same thing you.
Yeah.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Garza.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion? None. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, business and orders, item 4D, discussion and possible action on request for wine and beer retailers off-premise license by Alberto Barrera for property located at 103 2nd Street in Rio Grande City, County, Texas. 4D.
Yes, Mayor, this business currently is known as AR Computers.
Okay.
Mr. Barrera wants to eventually turn that building into a liquor store. I understand the business of fixing computers or stereos or cell phones is little by little fading away. So his interest is to turn into a liquor store. We have similar businesses not too far away, and as far as compliance, it is in compliance with city ordinances.
No issues with church or, right? I mean, there's.
It meets all the
Right?
Yes,
requirements as far as distance from the.
correct.
From the.
Catholic
school
Church
and
is
the
Right, but it's
around
off-premise.
700 feet away, and it asks for churches or religious organizations, it's at least 300 feet.
But it's an
It
off-premise license?
It's off-premise, it's a liquor
Off-premise.
store, it's not for on-site
Consumption,
consumption.
in-premise,
It's not a
or
bar.
off-premise?
Do you know by any chance how many off-premise licenses we have in the city?
No, but I can find out, considering that.
Because we seem to be getting a few
Yes,
in the last year.
we have a couple of new ones. We have one behind Casa Ove, a brand new one. We still have the previous ones, obviously in addition to H-E-B and Walmart. We can certainly find out. Staff has been working after hours, has been working on weekends to target businesses, so definitely we can have more accurate count on all this type of
But
businesses.
at this point, so is the business already established? At
It's
this
established,
point, or are they
yes.
seeking this first and then proceeding with establishing the business?
Right now it's open as AR computers. It's for they fix computers,
Right.
cell phones.
It's gonna convert it.
Yes. Yeah, I guess business has been declining.
It's not drink and while you
No, sir.
get your computer fixed.
Not a bad idea though.
All right, like you said, it meets all
Yes,
ordinances,
sir.
it were
Yes.
was approved by planning
Make
and
the
zoning.
motion. Yes,
Okay,
it's recommended by planning and zoning.
have a motion to approve by Commissioner Garza,
A second.
have a second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion?
Before I leave the podium, I'd like to say, shortly, as a departmental report, within the next 5 days, we should be issuing the permit for the project across the street. It's a $10 million building project. And also the ballroom across the street also. So that's probably within the next 5 business days.
Oh, very good.
Look forward to the news here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Milan. Appreciate it. Next, business and orders item 5, contracts and agreements. Letter A, discussion and possible action approving right of entry agreement with U.S. Customs and Border Protection Homeland Security Project 5.
Mayor,
Is this
com-
different from, yes?
Yes, and
All
I
right.
thought we were done with it,
Yes,
but I
I-
guess there's another one. And
Okay,
if
so
you would
what-
see the map behind it, it shows you the area that they're referencing.
Okay. Mr. Villarreal looked at it, everything,
Yes,
any issues with it, or?
no issues with it. We did review it.
Okay. Any further questions, or give you a few minutes to peruse through it and
This was the same area, Mr. Perez, at the Fordyce property?
Yes.
yes.
Hopefully this is the last.
Well, I guess they're folks that deal with the maps are behind.
Well, I mean, at some take a look at it and see exactly where it's gonna, what they're
Correct.
planning to where exactly are they gonna situate it, and walk the line and see where in that property, and of course consider the access and the gates and
And the impact?
the impact in that area,
Yes, sir.
which were some of the issues that were discussed
Correct.
previously. Any other questions? Are we ready
No,
to?
I make a motion to approve the item.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5A by Commissioner Ramirez.
A second.
We have a second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, business and orders item 5B, discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement with Valley Metro for rental premises at 408 East Main Street, Bessie's Landing.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is a renewal for Valley Metro. It's a yearly contract.
Okay.
Staff recommends renewal.
So is everything okay? They've been taking care of business? No issues with
Mr.
bank?
Perez, I never see them using the loading area in the
In
front.
the front, no, they're in the back.
They're
Yeah.
totally in the back.
Yeah.
They don't use the front at all.
Which is, this time, do we entertain a motion?
I so move.
Have a motion to approve item 5B by Commissioner Ramirez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I opposed, motion carries. You know, but we've been accused of having boring meetings, is that? But,
Not as entertaining as others.
it's all business, all right. Moving on to item 6, it's executive session, chapter 551, Texas Government Code, section 551.071, consultation with attorney, section 551.074, personnel matters, and section 551.087, economic development matters. Items A, B, C, D, and F. It is 7:05 p.m.